So
nice. The world actually could use more of that, huh? Now,
you can do the like.
Cut. Hi, I'm Rupda, and I've got this lovely guy here with me, Sean James. Let's call him that. And and actually, I wanted to talk a little bit with him around this topic, around the masculine and around grieving, loneliness, around connection, vulnerability. It's a topic. So, hi, Sean.
Hi. Yeah. So. A little bit of a backing story for me is, losing my brother recently, and that being a really challenging part of my family life, and finding safety and a container in order to really experience that grief has been difficult and continues to be difficult. But during spending time with you over these last few days, I have felt an opening that's allowed me to, connect into this. And that's primarily come from feeling supported and held and welcomed by the masculine. And ultimately, if we look across society, the males tend to want to hold everything and don't really have this space to be fully held by the masculine. We all have partners, or some have partners. And these people are holding space to some degree, but for a male to be held by another male, it's unusual, and I feel deeply connected to that.
My understanding of in this journey, as I've been, of course, holding the masculine and feminine in different retreats, is that when men really start to become vulnerable and to open up, one of the things is not easy, and the other thing is there's a big programming and conditioning as to how you've meant to be as a man, and it's so archaic when you think about it. It's so dated, and yet even in the so-called conscious community, or people who are wanting to do differently or being authentic self, are challenged to ask for help. And a man with a man to be embraced, it has I don't know, you tell me, it has something to do with it. You shouldn't hold too long. You shouldn't let go. You shouldn't open up. You shouldn't have tears or a release. There's something that holds them back. What do you feel that is?
I would argue that it's our conditioning in modern society as males to be the space holding. For a female or for the feminine, we can open up, we can be more soft and supple, but there's this island-like mentality for men that will notice each other, but there'll be hesitation. This is obviously changing in males that have become more in touch with their feminine side, and that's beautiful to see. But I feel the importance is to find that polarity between both. Find a space where we need to show up as the masculine, but also allow ourselves to be more relaxed and supple with our own sense of feminine with other males.
Can you speak more to that, just especially anyone listening to this? What does it mean for a man to be in touch with his feminine side? Some people, of course, get it, and other people are going, well, how do I get in touch with that? And what does that mean?
To me, it's building a relationship with these polarities. Like for me personally, I spent a lot of time with my mum at a younger age, so I learned to love from mum's side, and that was a beautiful thing. But also found myself judging my dad and expecting that same form of love from him, the same form of love I'd learned from mum. And when I couldn't receive it from him, it caused a great deal of friction in our relationship, which was hugely problematic right up until the point where I understood, wow, so his form of love is actually that of being a provider and financially supporting us as a family and giving us the container and everything we had around us. So it's not directly answering your question, but I feel honoring both sides in this and learning that love comes from love can be love can be experienced at varying levels from both from males and females, specifically in these parental roles at a young age, and learning to respect that is it's allowed me to build a deeper relationship with my father, that's for sure.
Yeah. You just said something, being the provider, being able to be the container for those that you love, and often it is imposed on the masculine to be that. And then when you take a moment when a man has a human moment like grief or loss or pain or some kind of breakdown or a perceived failure from work or whatever it may be, and he has that darkest hour or something that really humbles him, brings him to his knees, who's the container for him then? And that's the piece that often gets missed for men, and often they turn into a depression or some kind of loneliness, where they feel really isolated themselves. And how would you suggest for men to kind of step out of that?
So in our previous discussions, I've been mentioned to you that I've been holding space within a men's circle, and that men's circle in the beginning started as just a bi-weekly call structure where we would show up, we would do brief check-ins, and then we would choose individual topics to dive into. The first topic was integrity, which I feel is a really important part for men to explore. But ultimately, as that container has advanced and grown, we've started to host retreats together in a totally emergent nature. So not coming in and going, okay, duck, breakfast is at 8, dinner is at 7, Very easy, very fluid.
Yeah, nice.
And to feel a level of safety within a masculine container and fully open up there has provided me, and I'll speak for all of the other men in the container, a space to let go, to relax into the body, to just be in the room, to feel into those mistakes, to know that it's not just my mistake, it's our mistakes, our difficulties, our grief, our pain. And the familiarity and the comfort that we found in these spaces has been profound.
Nice.
So
nice. The world actually could use more of that, huh?
I agree.
You think about where we are today.
Yes.
And especially in the masculine form, and some of those men who are leading today could probably use some of those spaces, and they override it or they dismiss it.
Yeah, it gets dismissed.
Yeah.
Quite readily, but in my experience of explaining this to people, it's been mostly met with intrigue and an opening in the body from a lot of the guys that are like, wow, like, how do I get involved in something like that? How do I build my own container? Because there's many men's groups that have come and gone over time. So building or creating or using a successful model for allowing these groups to form and sustain themselves, I feel like is a really important factor. Yeah.
And I want to say one thing, it's kind of putting a whole nother a perspective to it, which is just to name it, that culturally, when you have this set up and it's in your ancestral, sort of traditional way of how you're meant to be a man, women then take the continuum of that. Women, not all women, some women, who don't know how to handle a man who's connected not only to his masculinity, but to his sensitivity. And if they don't know how to be sensitive themselves, and sometimes women are becoming more masculine than men in the Western world, that they don't give space for the man to go into their sensitivity, or they maybe make it wrong, or they shame it. And this is really because also of her programming around how a man is supposed to be, and how he's meant to hold her. And it exists still to this day. I've had it in different spaces where I've listened to women talk about how their partner is meant to be, and I was like shocked. The guy has no space to have human feelings. And that is also, I can see, a generational conditioning. So for men that might be in partnerships like that, that's going to take a whole nother step for them to recognize that, and courage as well, to want to come to something like what you're offering with men being with men and being able to, connect in a deeper way and feel safe.
Safety is a big part of it, absolutely. But we're in a difficult spot. And mostly because, our bodies are still very much conditioned to 10,000 years ago, before the fast nature of today's reality. So, and ultimately then being, maybe not 10,000 years ago, but ultimately back then, we were hunter-gatherers. The female would stay, nurture camp, bring up the children, and the males would go out hunting to feed the communities. They both needed each other, but these are primal roles, and they still live within us.
Yeah.
So ultimately, nowadays we are starting to try and transition that with modern society. But the battle also ultimately for a man is this. It's like how do we shape those worlds where women are wanting or becoming or looking to build a relationship with their own inner masculine, or hold their own space as the masculine, which would usually be provided externally by a male. Where does a man fit within this? So it's definitely a challenging environment to be a man today.
It is, especially with everything that's coming in the last few years. I can see it. It's at a rapid pace. And Sean, I love that you come into this work, you apply yourself in this work, even though you're bringing it to people, that you're also in your own journey around it. Because in a way, just by doing that experience and having that experience, you give permission for others too. And especially if you're having men come together and, just even the question, can men cry? Are they allowed to cry? Does that make them less of a man? That's something men really actually think about.
Well, as you know, this is a very difficult topic for me. Being able to let go into that, ultimately with the kind of more British conditioning comes down to, and I know you're familiar with this, with the British conditioning comes down to safety. It's, can I feel safe enough to fully let my body go into this experience? And oftentimes it's more challenging. Can I feel absolutely safe enough to grieve with my family? Do I need to go into being in a reclusive state in order to really feel that? Ultimately, I think it's no, or maybe perhaps both. But I feel the growth edge, the through part, is to learn to build safety within containers and communities. As that gradually expands and expands, we are indirectly building a deeper relationship with self, and can allow those feelings out. Because ultimately as well, it takes so much of our integrity to hold these parts down. Because if I'm not allowing my body to feel what it needs to feel, I'm out of integrity on that. I'm out of integrity to myself on not allowing myself to feel these things. And the energy it must take to hold these things down. When we allow ourselves to feel them, all of a sudden all of that energy that's gone into this space is re-brought into our center and integrity. And that can then be used productively and powerfully in the world.
Yeah. And actually, the world will probably be a better place for it, not just individually, but it impacts everyone.
Yeah.
I really love talking with you. This was very spontaneous.
It's so spontaneous.
Nothing was planned. He was just walking through and I just pulled him in. And here we are chatting. And if any of this resonates with you, if you're watching, if you have a partner or you're the guy watching and you want to know more, I'm sure there's going to be a link here and I can share more about what he does as well. And thanks for watching and thanks for talking with me. That was so great, John. You're a beauty. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, that's a wrap.